The beautiful thing about Oregon in the spring and the summer is that it's Oregon in the spring and the summer. And boy, oh boy, does that spell fun. There's always something to do, always an adventure to be had.
You can play golf, cycle for hundreds of miles, visit the high desert country, the hills and wine-producing valleys, see the vibrant cities and the gorgeous little towns, and even find places to hunt for fossils. There are simply incredible beaches all the way along the coast, with all kinds of fun to be had on the water. And there are some simply awesome rivers for salmon, steelhead and trout fishing, let alone the white water that thunders down from the mountains to the sea. And even in the summer, you can ski and climb at Mount Hood, the world's second most climbed mountain and America's only year-round ski season.
I bet you have no idea.
Now, before we get cracking, a quick trip to see the airport, Portland's fab new modern and functional international airport, complete with trendy shops and live music. And for added convenience, you can hop on the tram literally right outside and be downtown in a jiffy.
When the top blew off Mount Mazama thousands of years ago, it created what must be one of the natural wonders of the world. Driving through a tree-lined landscape to an altitude of some 7,000 feet, it's hard to imagine the scene that lies ahead. 33 miles round, 6 miles wide and almost 2,000 feet deep, and the most extraordinary blue I've ever seen. Welcome to Crater Lake.
On the crest of the Cascade Mountain Range, about 100 miles east of the Pacific Ocean, they say that Crater Lake is like no place else on Earth. It lies inside a caldera, or volcanic basin, created when the 12,000-foot Mount Mazama collapsed 7,700 years ago, following a large eruption. Centuries of rain and snow filled the caldera, creating a lake almost 2,000 feet deep, the 7th deepest lake in the world and the deepest in the United States. To add to the drama are two quite mystical islands and sheer cliffs almost 2,000 feet high that surround the lake. Boat trips are obviously a big attraction here, but be warned, to get to the boat and back is a strenuous hike of more than 2 miles round trip. There are also plenty of amazing trails for spectacular hiking and cycling through this incredible landscape. And on the subject of views, you'd like to stay here at the lodge, wouldn't you?
But if I had the choice, I'd just sit here all day and take in that view.
And from one visual extravaganza, I'm heading north to another, Tocatee Golf Course in the beautiful Mackenzie River Valley.
When I'm playing golf, it's not just about the challenge of getting a great drive, it's also about the ambience and where you're playing. The Tocatee Golf Club in the Mackenzie River area, it's beautiful here. You've got Doug firs all over, snow-capped mountains, the sun is out. What more do you want? A par 72 course, 6,806 yards, designed by Ted Robinson. I can't wait to play. I'm going to go and hit some balls with third-generation owner Mark Justina.
There's something to be said about playing, you know, a sport that you love, and you just come out here and it's so quiet, and you can always see something different. The landscape is constantly changing, whether it be just whether you're playing in the fall and the leaves are starting to change color, or the dead of summer. You always your eye always picks something else something else that you may have missed before. And that's just kind of the natural beauty and that surrounds Toketee is what makes it so unique. Yeah, my grandfather, when he was in his 40s, took up the game of golf and just fell in love with it. So he helped build and design Toketee. It has something to offer every ability. So if you're just learning, it's a great facility, and if you're also a scratch golfer, it's great. Alistair, I wanted to bring you here first to the 16th hole here at Toketee. It's our signature hole. It's a par 5, 487 yards, and it just has breathtaking views of the snow-capped mountains in the background. You know, Douglas fir in the distance as well. There's a little creek that runs across the middle of the fairway, and then there's a pond up by the green, and it's a great par 5 whether you're a scratch golfer or a higher handicap. It gives everyone a challenge, and wanted to play this hole first.
Well, me being the higher handicap, I mean, can you do this in 2?
I like to think so. I can on occasion, but there are times I get myself in trouble too.
I'll go first.
And here's Mark's effort. I really should give him some tips. Not.
There are some amazing sights here. Look at that with the steam rising off the grass. Now on to what for many golfers is a big favourite, a picturesque par 3 with an elevated tee. It's important to be accurate, like this, as opposed to inaccurate like this. Oh dear. I know what I'll do. I'll make up some story about how the design catches you out.
Tell you what, Mark, I always get caught out on these par 3s. You can hit it too much, can't you? Get it too hard.
Well, it's real easy, especially when you've got the elevated tee coming to a green below you, and that's kind of part of the fun of just being out here. You have so many different shots that you have to hit, and this is a short par 3. You know, it's only 120 yards or so, and yet it's hard to hit the green. And it's just there are a lot of fun shots, and you know, one thing that is consistent though is the views. The views never change. They're constantly beautiful,
yeah,
and
on a day like this especially.
yeah, you just can't beat it.
Oh. Well, anyway, it's me to putt first.
All right, well, good luck.
Thank you. I'll need it.
Got it.
Yeah, eventually. Oh! And it's a birdie for you, Mark.
Well, it's a good day.
You made me look stupid.
Well, no, thank you for coming out and visiting us today. Had a good time playing with you.
Just down the road from Toketee, I passed this extraordinary structure over the Mackenzie River and discovered quite an interesting history. These bridges were built by hand in the mid-1850s, and covering them to keep the huge truss timbers dry gave them a lifespan of 80 years or more. Well worth the effort, I'd say. This one, the Belknap Bridge, better known as the Mackenzie Bridge, has been in continuous use since 1890. Eugene, in Oregon's famous Willamette Valley, is the second largest city in the state. For those who love the convenience of a metropolitan city with a laid-back, unpretentious atmosphere, this is a haven. It's also right up there in the Green Guide rankings too, so that's got to be good news. There are miles of riverside running and cycling trails here for outdoor fun, and even some serious training for local athletes. In fact, running's so popular here, Eugene has an alter ego. They call it Tracktown USA.
The Eugene Running Company meets 4 days a week for various levels of running and training programs. So if you're after a bit of running company, you can always pop into their HQ here in Eugene, where runners of all levels, beginners to veterans, join in the free weekly group runs. Also, and rather impressively, in the summer of 2008, the US Olympic track and field team trials were held here in Eugene, and they'll be back again in 2012 in the legendary electrifying atmosphere of Hayward Field. And cycling's huge here too, through the parks, over the bridges, or just exploring the city. It's definitely the best way to get around, and another way to keep in shape while you're here in Oregon.
When I was little, I wanted to be a train driver. What did you want to be? Well, deep down there's still the yearning. And if, like me, you want to drive a steam train, this is the time and this is the place.
Yes, here in Sumpter, the Sumpter Valley Railway engineer for a day programme actually allows you to operate a steam locomotive, under the supervision, of course, of qualified personnel. They'll show you how to operate a locomotive in the McEwen yards, make up a freight train and take it out onto the main line.
I'm going to be a train driver! Hey!
In 1971, a small group of volunteers set out to save what was left of a beloved icon of Eastern Oregon, the narrow-gauge Sumpter Valley Railway. It was never a railway that changed the world, but for over half a century, the quaint little trains kept the communities it served alive, hauling gold, lumber, freight, and the occasional passengers that wanted to see what lay beyond the horizon. The first train of the new Sumpter Valley Railway rolled out of McEwen Station on July the 4th, 1976. And the railroad now stretches over 5 miles to the historic gold town of Sumpter.
I'm a train driver! Now there's a sound the younger generation have probably never heard. In fact, it's probably lost to the whole wide world. Here's a reminder of that bygone age, and it's fab. A half-hour's train journey away is an unbelievable piece of technological history. In 1935, the Sumpter Valley Gold Dredge was responsible for digging up more than $4 million worth of gold.
Gold was first discovered in the Sumpter area in 1862, but it wasn't until much later that plans for a mechanised floating placer mining operation in the Sumpter Valley were made. This dredge, the third to be built here on the Powder River at the base of the Elkhorn mountain range, was launched almost 75 years later, with almost as much fanfare as an ocean liner. It brought renewed hope for prosperity for the town of Sumpter. 72 one-ton buckets stuck out from the dredge's hull on a massive boom, which, like a chain of a chainsaw, would bore into the riverbank and carry the loose rock back onto the dredge. But the sad truth was that more gold was taken from the Sumpter Mountains by hard rock miners deep underground than any of the three dredges, and in 1954 it packed up shop.
It's amazing to think it sat here in 1954 and it's still here in the present day. It's a great historic landmark in the Oregon State Park.
Is it possible to experience sheer adrenaline-fueled excitement and combine it with utter peace, tranquility and simply astonishing beauty? I think it is. And up in the mountains outside Bend in central Oregon, at some 6,500 feet elevation, is East Lake, one of the most beautiful places imaginable to do a spot of fly fishing. And at some 6'6" elevation is Brett Dennis, owner of Central Oregon Fishing. He organises serious fishing trips for serious fishermen and less serious trips for less serious people like me.
I've never fly fished before in my life, and I'm here with Brett Dennis from the Central Fishing of Oregon, and he's going to teach me how to catch a fish, a big brown trout with a bit of luck. Is that right?
That's right.
What kind of trout are we going to see in here, though?
Brown trout this time of year, since it's the fall mainly. There's rainbow trout. There's brook trout, not as many brook trout. Probably browns and rainbows are the most predominant fish in here.
I can tell I'm going to get warm with this.
That's right.
So I'm going to strip myself down.
That's right. And we're moving that fly and trying to grab the attention of some fish swimming down deep underneath there.
Right. Get in there?
Hold on.
Brett, I think I've got one.
There it is.
There it is, it's pulling. Hey, caught our first fish ever. Oh,
that is a brown trout.
Wow.
Good job.
Thank you. Put him back in.
Put him back in.
Off you go. That's great. Fantastic. I've had a great day here, right on the lake. It's been beautiful. Countryside around. Expert tuition from Brett Dennis from Central Oregon Fishing. Couldn't have done better. I'm going to come back and fish again. Just 4 miles east of Pendleton, in the foothills of the Blue Mountains, is the Wild Horse Resort, with a spectacular John Stadell designed par 72 golf course in absolutely beautiful surroundings. This is the resort, this is the golf course, and this is Mike Hegarty, head golf professional here. Mike, why have you brought me to this one?
This is the start of our closing holes, 16, 17, and 18. And difficult golf course. If you made your way around here, you're feeling pretty good about your round. Now you have these holes to go. If you can see behind me,
See the water.
it's a fairly, you know, on the golf card, it's a fairly easy hole. But we have the water, we have the bunker. It's very visually intimidating. And if you add to that, that wind blowing across here makes this one of the most difficult shots on the golf course when you got a good round going, whether it's in a competitive round of golf, whether you have your personal best round going, you're going to break 100 for the first time or break 90 for the first time, you step up here, it's a tough shot to hit.
You want to see me go in that water, don't you? That's what it is.
I don't know if I want to see you go in there, but more than likely you will go in there. From what I've heard about your golfing prowess, you might get in there.
I have to say, it's not that good, but I'm with a pro, which is fantastic, so hopefully you'll give me a couple of tips as well.
I'm here to help you out.
And what matter anyway? At least I look good. Interesting. Not on the green, not in the water. That's the way.
I'll tell you what, Mike. You said to me that this was going to be the easiest shot on the course.
Well, on the card it is easy.
Excellent.
Nice too.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank
Pleasure.
you for coming out to Wild Horse.
Thanks for showing me around.
Absolutely.
Brilliant. There you go. Excellent. Nice one.
Thank you.
I'm scratching my head for a reason. I don't really get this golf stuff. Mike's gone off and left me. I don't think he's very impressed with my play, to be honest. But I'm on the 18th now, and he's put the fear of God in me. He tells me it's out of bounds on the left, and the water's on the right, but the wind blows from the left, which means you've got to hit it towards the out of bounds on the left, and then try and get it on the green. Oh, I'm just going to play it. That's the Blue Mountains over there. Apparently there's some fantastic views all the way around from up there. It's quite stunning today as well. So I think I'll play from the blue tee. Blue Mountains, blue tee? Why not?
I would show you the rest of this hole, but I ran out of balls. So here's some nice scenery. Located in Echo, up towards the northeastern corner of the state, is a rather unusual adventure. It's for the person who loves good food, good wine, and good horses. Yes indeed, vineyard and ranch tours on horseback through Oregon's premier new vineyards. That's what the blurb says, that's what you get. The tour starts at the old historical Cooner Ranch farmhouse, winds around the Umatilla River and climbs up into the Echo West Vineyard. Lloyd Piercy owns these vineyards and he has the whole story.
Well, it's a collaboration between Diane and myself, and it's Diane's idea and Diane's horses, and it's our vineyard, my wife and I's, and it's a beautiful place and a beautiful place to share.
Well, it's a beautiful place. The sun is shining. It's absolutely beautiful. Tell me about the vineyards. What are you producing?
Cabernet Sauvignon, Petit Verdot, Tempranillo, Zinfandel, and Muscat, of course, for the Muscat done.
And why are you producing wines here? What's so special about this area?
Well, we're in a wonderful wine-growing region. The climate is absolutely perfect.
Absolutely marvellous. But I tell you, on horseback as well, I mean, I've never heard of that, as I said before. So, you know, what do people experience when they come here?
They experience the true West. It's a working ranch. And so they get to see it like it's always been.
This journey through the outback is available for 2 or 4 people, although larger groups can be organised. And you can get early morning and evening tours to add to that touch of romance. Early morning? Romance? Don't think so. And it all wraps up with a catered picnic lunch or dinner in simply gorgeous surroundings with, naturally, a fine Oregon wine.
Cheers. Cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
What a great day. Whoa, boy! Way back in 1909, there was this incredible 4th of July celebration with bronco riding, war dances, grease pig contests, sack races and, of course, fireworks. And while all this was going on, the community had an idea to make it an annual event called the Pendleton Round Up.
Let a buck.
And that slogan, "Let a buck," which is symbolic of the roundup, has stuck for an entire century. Oh, come on, you don't really think I'll get on a bull, do you? I'm not that mad. Sadly, that brings us to the end of this edition of Oregon Uncovered. Till next time, I'm Alistair Duval. See you later. Bye-bye. Could somebody let me out, please?